What's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at an EQ that I actually haven't taken the time to really look into, and now I'm kind of hooked. So one of the reasons I really like doing these plugin reviews is that it gives me the chance and opportunity to check out plugins that I may have in my plugin library that I just don't use, or check out new plugins that I could find interesting. And it always opens up my eyes whenever I find something that I don't use and I find that it's very interesting and I really like the way it gives me sounds. Today, the plugin is no exception. Today, we're taking a look at the V-EQ4 from Waves. Now, the V-EQ4 is based off of the 1081 EQ processor from, I think, like the 60s or 70s or something. There is the V-EQ3, which is based off of the 1073 EQ processor, but we're only taking a look at the V-EQ4. Maybe in the future, if you guys find this interesting, I'll bust out the V-EQ3 and we can do a video on that, and maybe possibly even the V-Comp bus compressor that they came out with in this short series. Before we really dive into the video, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate any views, likes, comments, anything that I get from these videos. Be sure to leave a like and comment. Tell me what you think of the V-EQ4 and whether or not you guys want me to do a video for the V-EQ3 or the V-Comp bus compressor. And be sure to subscribe. It's a great way to support my channel and I really appreciate it. So the V-EQ4 is just a straightforward EQ. It reminds me a little bit of the Shep 73 just because you have just the standard 4-band EQ, although you do not have any preamp or drive option. So it's not similar in that it's like a channel strip, but it is just a really cool EQ. My placement for this would probably be like at the end of a signal chain. One of the more popular ways of doing a signal chain, which I've picked up, is like you do a subtractive EQ that's really surgical, or at least like focus specifically on getting frequencies out that you don't want. Then you do a leveling compressor to get like some good levels out of everything, and then you do an EQ for tone, and then you do another compressor just for overall tone again. So basically, like a lot of the suggestions I've always seen online is 2 EQs, 2 compressors alternating. And it's given me good results so far, but this is the one I would use this as the second EQ to really like help shape out the tone or anything of whatever sound you're going for. As you can see, I have a preset pulled up here because I was messing around a little bit ago, and I actually found that I really liked this on a vocal that I'm running right now. So what we're gonna do is run through all of the features that this has, and then we'll start listening to some of the presets. So here on the left, you have a high pass, low pass filter. So the outer ring does the high pass filter and the inner ring controls the low pass filter. So the low pass filter is the options and numbers on the right. The options on the left are the high pass filter. So all of these, this is 270, 150, 82, 47, 27. Those are all frequencies. And then you have 3.9, 5.6, 8.2, 12, and 18. Those are in the thousands. So 3.9 thousand hertz, 5.6 hertz, 5.6 kilohertz, sorry. And you can choose whether or not to have the EQ in or out. That's like hitting the bypass. That's just for, I believe, the entire EQ here. You also have a phase switch option, which is always nice to have and always nice to know which plugins have a phase switch. Next, you have the low frequency. The outer controls the frequency itself, the inner controls the gain. And then here on the bottom, you see for the low frequency and the high frequency, you have this bell shape on the bottom. That is because the low frequency and high frequency, they automatically start off as shelves. And with this, you could turn it into a bell curve instead. Moving on from there, you have the low mid frequency and high mid frequency. On both of these, you have this high Q button here on the bottom. So that has to do with the width. The Q has to do with the width of the bell curve that you're working with, because you don't have a control of the Q overall. You only have gain and frequency control. The high Q can give you a more detailed cut. So if I was cutting the low mids out at 470, it would be less of a wide scoop, but a more detailed scoop instead. But for the low mids and high mids, inside is the gain, outside is the frequency selection. Again, just like the high and low. Here on the right, you have your output and an analog option. I don't know much about this. This is supposed to give you some sort of like harmonic saturation, like a little bit of distortion. I think I like the way it sounds. It's not bad in there. I don't think it's like the 1176 or other plugins where it just introduces an analog noise, which is just a frequency just humming in there. With this, it actually works with the entire frequency spectrum and isn't giving you just a random hum. It's giving you actual little bits of harmonics. And then here you have a VU meter, and this button just kind of like, it automatically just like boosts you all the way, I think. I'm not really sure what to make of that button. If I'm being honest. But yeah, that's the plugin straightforward. It's got some great tools. We're going to go through, check out some of the presets. This vocal preset is what I want to start with though, because I absolutely love the way it sounds. I'm going to turn the VEQ off so you can hear what it sounds like. So this is with an REQ and a CLA 76 running on it. We'll take a listen to what these vocals sound like without the VEQ, and then we'll kick it on.
People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone.
Take this out of bypass.
People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone.
It gives it like a lot more presence. Like you see, there's not really cuts when it comes to the lows or anything. Like the low shelf, like there's like a 0.3 decibel cut. And then here you have a 0.39, but there is such a presence that comes in, and that might just be with these tiny boosts, but even with just those tiny changes, this EQ makes a vocal sound beautiful. I really like this one. So next we're gonna go in and let's choose one of these producers here at the bottom that have their own special presets that were included. You have a mighty kick, so I'm gonna take this, we're gonna move this over and throw this on my kick. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it and we'll put the same one on all three of my kick channels, because I have three kick channels. I have a Beta 52, a Beta 91A, and a ribbon mic on my kick. And we're gonna see how they sound on each of them individually versus together. Highlight this section here, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna silence the V-EQ first, and we'll listen to it with its original EQ that I had with the Shep 73 on each of the channels. Now just the Beta 52. Now the 91A. Now the ribbon. And now I'm going to turn the VEQs on. Turn the Shep 73 off. We're going to listen to them all together and then individually. So all of them together. Now just the Beta 52. Now the 91A. Now the ribbon. So there really needs to be some adjustments for output leveling, but I actually like how it sounds. So I think the VEQ, I actually really like how that sounds. That almost gives it like a little bit of a thicker sound. And the fact that I'm saying I like the VEQ4 more is incredible, because I love the Shep 73 because I love Andrew Sheps. He's one of my favorite audio engineers that I look up to. And this doesn't sound bad at all. I do see there is an overheads option. So what we're gonna do, take that right on over to the overheads, and we're gonna throw that in with my overheads left and right. So we'll listen to it without them in and then throw them in. Turn them on here. That's with nothing else on the channel. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of them on overheads, but that could have just been how I recorded those overheads. But I do like this plugin a lot though. Let's take it, get that rack tom or the floor tom channel. And I saw that there was a rack tom preset as well. Where was it? Here we go. Let's hear the two of those together. Let me find a spot. And we'll listen to it without these with the Shep 73s that I used. And then we'll kick on the V-EQ4 and turn off the Shep 73. Shep 73 off, V-EQ4 on. I still like the Shep 73 a little bit better. But that being said, this is a really, really good EQ for vocals and at least kick drum, if not other drums. The V-EQ4 is really cool. I really enjoy this EQ, and I'm gonna have to bust it out more because I like it more on my kick than a Shep 73. I also really like it on a vocal, but that could have something to do with the vocalist and the voice itself. But now I know that if I'm not quite getting what I want with the 73, I'm going to be busting out the V-EQ4, or I might even start with the V-EQ4 depending on who I'm working with right off the bat. Overall, this is a really cool plugin and definitely worth getting from Waves. I think I got mine in a bundle a couple years ago, like most of my Waves plugins, but I'm really looking forward to trying this out on some other sessions and some other projects. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below saying what you think about the V-EQ4. Is it worth getting if only for kick and vocals, or did you actually like how it sounded on the rack and floor toms and the overheads? They didn't quite hit how I like them to sound, but maybe it hit right for you. Please make sure you leave a like down below and also subscribe. It helps out my channel a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next Tuesday.